Welcome everyone to SparkPoint's first virtual webinar. I'm a SparkPoint San Jose financial coach. My name is Saul Gonzalez. I've been coaching with SparkPoint for almost 3 years and professionally coaching since late 2007. The webinar will be recorded and used with the sole purpose of distance learning to the community and students of San Jose. This recording will end at approximately 15 minutes. If you plan to consult with a financial coach, contact information will be found at the end of this presentation. After consulting with a financial coach, you may find it helpful to collaborate on a deeper level, maybe a short-term coaching agreement to help you guide you through your personal and professional goals, create a plan, and help you stay accountable. The focus of this webinar will be in the areas of credit and tax. SparkPoint San Jose plan to build a library of videos to increase the financial knowledge of individuals. If you have any questions or comments, I reserve, please leave them, write them down, and bring them to your coaching session. Now let's see what we offer. Financial workshops, career coaching are done by mentor coaches as well as professional coaches. We also provide free legal services. That's if you need support with bankruptcy or steps around a judgment or lien. Those are very important. Legal services can help provide consultation where we can actually connect you with an attorney, and you two could discuss what would be next steps. And if a coach is required to step in and assist, that's something that can also be referred and completed. CalFresh enrollments and screening, we provide that as well. Our friendly staff can actually help you fill out the proper documentation to get you started for public benefit support. Those are basically the things that we're providing. In addition, virtual financial workshops. Now, what is coaching? The first one, learn how to improve your ability to change uncertainty in your personal life. What does that mean? We're learning about our habits and our behaviors. But we need to learn what are our limits, and the coaching can help that create that self-awareness. 2, learn how to craft a personal financial plan and align your mindset. A financial plan can be really robust if you're working with a financial planner. They're a lot lengthy, involving retirement, investment, savings. Our coaching program focuses really on the client's most immediate need. So taking steps from there to accomplish that goal and then moving forward to the next goal, et cetera, et cetera. Number 3, learning how to increase your resiliency around difficult times. Coaching is a space that where you can take a moment in your life to stop and think about what matters most to you, to start making change, either in finance, career, or life. Coaching is held virtually using Zoom, and it can also be done by phone, and usually about 45 minutes to an hour. You can provide, this is where you can, what do you want to really change in your life about finances? What steps do you think you need to take? What would be the first step in fulfilling your goal? These are general coaching questions that are asked that get deeper to what's holding you back. Number 4, learning how to maintain inner calm. That's really talking about money is very emotional. It's very taboo. You can see across the world what's going on. Obviously, there's other things related to this, but income inequality is a big deal. And we need to learn to be okay with making mistakes, specifically around finances, and learning from them. We're always told that failure is bad and that success is good. Well, we need to learn to fail in order to operate from a place of power versus fear. If we're fearing the failure, then we're never going to move, which equates to being stuck. Coaching can help us process that. You have an accountability partner, which is number 5. That's basically the essence of it. Learning strategies and how to be held accountable. Demonstrating credit. Now, is what you see there. Credit is money borrowed from an institution that is paid back at the end of the month for every 30 days. When you swipe your card, the institution pays the vendor, and then that gets reported to credit bureaus. That's in essence credit. The next slide talks about some really interesting statistics that are very current. 43%, this is now from 2008. It's most likely changed. But 43% of Americans carry over credit card balance every month. 57% of Americans use credit cards for convenience and did not carry over a balance. This isn't also taking into equation our cell phones. Our cell phones have become a huge convenience. Samsung Pay, Apple Pay. We have to think about how we're managing that credit. Are we monitoring it? Do we know what it means? So why is credit important? It's important to buy a home. It's important to buy a car, getting employed, rent, and improving our credit. The most important for us here in the Bay Area, I would say, is buying a home, getting housed, for some getting employed, and lastly, to improve your FICO score. Car loans can be purchased at a pretty bad rates. You can have horrible credit and still get a car. Something to discuss in coaching. A breakdown of actual credit. This is the most important slide. Your FICO score is determined by 5 factors. 35% is your payment history, paying on time. The second most important, 30%, is how much of your total credit have you used. So if you have $3,000, 30% of 3,000 is 900. So 900 is actually what you have to use to continue to have a sustainable positive FICO score growth. That can get confusing. We can talk in greater length in a session about that. Number 3, 15% is how long is your overall credit history. A year is different from 5 years. Number 4, 10% is establishing new credit. That's exactly what it says. And the last is 10% is holding different types of credit. And that could be a secured credit card, student loan, maybe a revolving credit card with a realtor or something, not a realtor, a retail store. So those are the most important. And I want to highlight these two together is 65%. So 65% of these factors determine your FICO score. That's pretty impactful. And we can find strategies for all these in a coaching session. How do you find your FICO score? Many ways. Here are 4. Check your credit card company. Check with your bureaus. They have apps now, Experian, TransUnion. You can go to myfico.com. You could also go to annualcreditreport.com, which I just learned that you can check on a weekly basis and not an annual basis your credit report and information, which is amazing. And that has that just took place this past April. So take advantage of that. Now, when I mention credit card companies, some that come off the top of my mind: Discover Card, Capital One, excuse me, and AMX are credit card companies that offer you a FICO score. Credit Karma is another way of getting it. Keep in mind that it is a Vantage score, which runs on a different rubric system, and it is free. But like anything free, your information is being sold, so just stay mindful. Taxes. Why they might be important. Applying for housing, applying for a student loan, for sure. Purchasing a home, working towards residency in the US, and we could also add to this list stimulus checks. You needed to have your tax returns 2018 completed in 19 to receive these checks. So something to think about. And lastly, tax payments. So these are the most critical information about tax payments is that if the IRS deems that you need to pay back and you're sent to collections, that could be a big problem because your situation won't improve until it's taken care of. Also, delaying collections by not paying this debt will increase your penalties and interest until this is paid in full. Now, you can arrange payments on your own by calling this number 1-800-829-1040. Now, of course, waiting will be you'll be on there for quite some time. So I would highly suggest going to the actual website, irs.gov. There, you can actually do so much, not just set up a payment arrangement, but you could also see existing accounts, paid accounts. The thing you only need to do is have an account, which would you have to create an account and then you have to wait for a couple of days to receive a PIN to actually activate that account. So that's the really kind of brief information I have about credit and taxes. Again, if you have any questions that you've written between now and the beginning of this brief webinar, bring them to your session. Call us here. This is where you can make a virtual appointment. Call 408-918-5199. Email as well, sparkpoint at sjeccd.edu. I want to say thank you so much for spending these few 15 minutes with me to discuss briefly credit. Hopefully these tips were helpful. I'm sure that there are more videos to come in the future to discuss in greater lengths other subjects. We also are open to feedback. So if you're listening to this and there's something that you want to hear, let us know. Drop us an email. You can consult with your coach. It doesn't need to spend 45 minutes. It could be less than that, just to see if it's something that fits for you and those lines. Again, thank you so much for your time, and I hope to see you soon. Take care. Be safe. Bye-bye.